There he stood, Daddy Dingbat, a man so mentally unhinged he made pigeons look organized. With the coordination of a toddler on Red Bull, he hurled a rock at a speeding truck like he was auditioning for Fast Delirious Mental Breakdown Edition. No one, and I mean not even his imaginary therapist, expected the rock to boomerang off the laws of physics and KO the truck driver like it was scripted by God on a hangover. The truck, understandably done with life, veered off like it had student loans and smacked headfirst into a mountain. Now Daddy Dingbat, possessed by either righteous rage or gluten intolerance, yeeted a wooden stick with all the grace of a Shakespearean crackhead. Then, channeling every unresolved issue from preschool onward, he beat the truck driver until the poor guy's soul left on unpaid vacation. Just when you thought the scene couldn't get any weirder, Dingbat pulled out a wrinkled photo from his pocket like he was revealing the next plot twist on Maury. And just like that, the cops arrived. But plot twist, they weren't there for him. Where is he? Asked one officer, already halfway into regretting his life choices. But before Netflix could adapt this disaster into a limited series, wham, another rando hit the cop from behind. Cue dramatic fainting. Dingbat woke up in front of a truck trunk packed tighter than his emotional trauma. Inside, kidnapped kids. Like actual kidnapped kids, not metaphors, not NFTs, actual stolen humans. Turns out 6 years ago, Daddy Dingbat's daughter was abducted by child traffickers. Since then, he'd been wandering the country like a depressed Pokemon trainer, trading his career, wife, and sanity for the slim hope of finding his daughter. Spoiler, he found everything but his daughter. Then, right on cue, enter the shadowy Craigslist-level sketchy organization. These folks made Illuminati look like the Girl Scouts. They promised Dingbat info on his daughter, but of course there was a catch. They wanted him to commit murder. His target? A man named Kongwon, a 30-something novelist with the energy of a boiled potato and a fanbase that probably needed therapy more than fanfiction. Kong spent his days indoors writing a novel so weird it made Inception look like Peppa Pig. Here's where it gets wild. Everything he wrote in his book, especially the villain's injuries, somehow affected a real-life rich dude. Like voodoo, but with better grammar. Naturally, the rich guy freaked out. If the villain dies, he reasoned with all the logic of a conspiracy theorist, maybe I die. So, obviously, he hired Dingbat. Because who better to trust with assassinating a novelist than a guy who throws rocks at trucks? At first, Dingbat thought this whole plot was dumber than a BuzzFeed quiz. But for the sliver of hope that his daughter might be alive, he agreed. He stalked Kongwon like a weird fanboy. But instead of finding a criminal mastermind, he discovered a kind-hearted hermit who couldn't even finish his book. Relatable. Then Kong dropped a bomb. There was a little girl in the novel who looked exactly like Dingbat's daughter. Same name, same face, same trauma-inducing backstory. That's when the insanity went full Black Mirror. Everything in the book started lining up with reality, the wounds, the chase, the weird itch in Dingbat's brain. So he hatched a galaxy brain plan. If saving the girl in the story could protect his daughter in real life, then maybe, just maybe, he wasn't completely insane. And so began a dark, twisted, and totally deranged saga of Daddy Dingbat versus the plotline, a story where fiction bleeds into reality, trauma gets marketed as a subplot, and everyone needs group therapy by the end.